Hi, my name is Vlada. I hold a bachelor's and master's degree in architecture and have worked for over 10 years in an architectural studio. I'm now building my own studio that focuses on interiors. Today, I want to share with you my finished project and show a detailed step-by-step process of how I designed and created a project. This was the condition of the project when I started working on it. The project is a manicure studio focused on both manicure and pedicure services. The owner had already worked with an interior designer to plan the space, but I believe the place has much more potential. The current ceiling gives me an industrial feeling, and the overall atmosphere lacks warmth and cohesive design concept. The studio has two functionally divided zones, one for pedicures and one for manicures, and I need to base my design on these two areas. The toilet is quite simple, so I was very excited to start redesigning the space, giving it a unique character. When I start a project, the very first thing I focus on is the functionality of the space. The design and color schemes come later. For me, functionality is the most important element in interior design. To begin working on different plan layouts, I always use tracing paper. This method allows me to be more flexible and quickly adapt my ideas as they come into my mind. Working directly in a program can limit the flexibility, making it harder to capture and refine spontaneous ideas. Tracing paper provides the freedom to experiment and adjust layouts with ease. I provide clients with a minimum of 3 different layout options, refining them until we reach a version they're completely satisfied with and that meets their needs. For this project, the task was to maximize the number of manicure and pedicure places. The challenge was a structural column in the center of the space which could not be moved. My initial idea was to remove the walls that separated the manicure areas on the right from those on the left. By doing this, I hoped to create a more integrated layout. However, removing the walls didn't increase the number of manicure stations at the beginning, as the column still obstructed the flow. Additionally, the space felt somehow awkward due to the need to incorporate a wardrobe for the winter coats. My second proposal involved rotating the manicure tables to fit 6 stations instead of 4. This arrangement did increase the number of places, but the space became too tight, making it difficult for clients to move around and use the wardrobe comfortably. The cluttered layout was less than ideal. Another problem with this plan was that I had shortened the reception desk to improve flow of people walking past the column and the desk. However, the space owner was concerned that the open reception area exposed the administrator's work, so we need to find a way to cover this area as well. After working throughout those issues, I came up with a final plan. I placed pedicure stations back to back, allowing for additional pedicure place. I added separated walls to provide coverage behind the administrator and privacy to both manicure and pedicure clients. I also included a thinner wall and open hangers on the entrance to optimize this space. Now, only after we have approved the final plan with the client, I moved on to the design of the whole space. This is where the most exciting part begins, planning the interior design. At the very beginning, I envisioned giving this space a sense of French style, a Parisian chic. For the design, I drew inspiration from classic apartments in Paris, which often feature elaborate wall moldings and sophisticated parquet patterns. One of the key elements I wanted to incorporate was a herringbone parquet pattern, which became one of my first inspirational images. This pattern was essential in establishing the space's character and adding a touch of French elegance. Two complicated elements of the site were, as I mentioned before, load-bearing column in the middle and communications that were originally hidden in the boxes behind drywall. Dealing with such complexities requires innovative solutions. French interior style often features curved forms such as archways or furniture, which are distinctive elements of its aesthetic. So I decided to use curved shapes to elegantly conceal my structural elements, integrating them seamlessly into the overall design. To enhance the impact of curved shapes, I added ambient light below each arch. This lighting not only makes accent on arch shape, but also creates a beautiful texture and adds depth to the construction. French apartments often feature elaborate moldings on their walls, so adding moldings to the space was a natural choice to enhance a whole interior concept and add a touch of classic elegance. In addition to the moldings, I aimed to maximize natural light in the studio while ensuring privacy for the clients. To achieve this, I used a wall construction with integrated glazing. This design approach allowed me to separate different zones and maintain privacy without sacrificing light. The glazing in the walls effectively divides the space, creating distinct areas while still permitting light to flow through, enhancing the overall brightness and openness of the studio. The pedicure area required a water connection, which meant I had to address the drainage system. To hide this, I designed a step to conceal the necessary plumbing while maintaining the space's aesthetic appeal. The final detail involved adding decor to the entire space. I chose Bordeaux curtains to align with the Manicure Studio's logo, which features this color. Additionally, all the pictures, statues, and images were selected to reflect French style and Parisian chic. This was the last element to complete the space. After finalizing the design, the most challenging part begins, working on the construction drawings. Once we've agreed on the layout with the client, I start by creating a wall plan where I use different colors to indicate the types of walls. For instance, drywall is marked in one color, while half walls are distinguished by another. Next, I prepare a sanitary plan specifically for the plumbers. This plan shows the placement of drainage exits where I indicate the required dimensions for the sink connections, including those for the pedicure stations, and provide measurements from wall to drainage exit for their installation. The next plan is the flooring finishes plan. It indicates details such as the tiled plinth for the pedicure station and the overall herringbone floor pattern, with all materials accounted in square meters for easy purchasing. Next, I work on the ceiling plan. We use a hanging ceiling system with varying heights. Different colors in the plan represent different ceiling heights. Next plan focuses on lighting. This plan details the dimensions from the walls to the fixtures and types of lights. For example, green indicates spotlights while red signifies pendant lights. Following a plan for switches and their connections. This plan shows the placement of switches and the dimensions to it. For instance, the administrator needs to control all the lights, so the plan ensures all lights connected to the administrator's switches. The next plan addresses electrical outlets. Each table requires 5 outlets, which are placed, for example, here in the floor. This plan signifies the work for constructors, allowing them to follow each stage of the construction process accurately. Finally, for each wall, I prepare an elevation plan that indicates heights. It's crucial to ensure that moldings align properly with electrical outlets. I also provide detailed elevation for complex drywall construction that conceal existing load-bearing structures. These arch structures were extended to hide beams as seen at the beginning of the video. This comprehensive set of plans includes different dimensions color for moldings, electric elements, and general dimensions, ensures that constructors have a clear guide to execute the project correctly, minimizing the risk of errors. I supervised the entire construction process online as I was not on site during the project's execution. However, I maintained close communication with the clients and contractor who provided me with daily reports from the construction site. This allowed me to closely monitor every small detail and change being made. Adjustments and minor refinements are inevitable on the construction site, so I was actively involved in making decisions on various aspects, including molding profiles, tiles, wood and wall colors, and even the placement of pictures. In this photo, you can see our very tired contractor who had to hold up all the images for me to approve their positions. For the final part of the video, I invite you to join me in exploring the completed design project. As we enter through the main entrance, you'll notice the open hangars and the partition wall that I previously highlighted in the plan. This design choice eliminates the need of wardrobe doors, creating more space in the entrance. Two glazed elements help to block cold winds from entering during winter, while still allowing light to pass through. These elements also feature in our half-glazed wall partitions that separate the manicure and pedicure zones, providing a similar function. The continuation of these walls further shields clients from the cold while allowing natural light to enter the space. As I mentioned earlier, two particularly challenging aspects of the space were the load-bearing column in the center and the construction elements on the wall that we couldn't remove. But just look at how the addition of arches transformed these disadvantages into unique and strong features. In the evening, the lighting beautifully highlights these arches, and the burgundy curtains add a touch of sophistication to the otherwise beige space. The darker curtains and beige walls create a visually appealing contrast. The brown accent wall also contributes to this contrast, enhancing the overall visual interest. The pedicure zone features a pedestal that conceals the drainage system we discussed earlier, and the division wall provides privacy without disrupting the open feel of the space. Another interesting element is the addition of mirrors to the sides of the deep window wall instead of window reveals. These mirrors reflect and distribute the limited natural light as the studio is partially below ground level. They not only amplify the daylight but also serve as decorative elements. The lighting, fixtures and decor add the finishing touches to the design concept, tying the entire room together. The colors of the chairs, pictures and decor elements were all carefully selected under my very careful supervision to bring harmony to the space. With these final touches, the design of the studio is complete, harmonizing functionality with French-inspired elegance to create inviting and stylish environment for clients. The toilet, though quite small, benefits from the use of two different marble colors and contrasting elements, making a significant visual impact compared to its previous state. Additionally, I added a playful touch with a picture of James Bond, cleverly placed to give the impression that he is secretly sneaking up on you while you look into the mirror. That was it for today. I hope you found this video interesting and insightful. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on the design. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It greatly supports my channel and encourages me to create more content like this. Also, feel free to follow me on Instagram, and I look forward to connecting with you there as well. Bye bye!